My brothers and sisters, man, I tell you, for God's sake, I beg you, let us come together as a people to get rid of the common enemy. I would have told you who that enemy is, but not tonight. Not tonight. And if you insist you want to know now who that enemy is, ask your mother.
When I appointed Mr. Griffith as the new Commissioner of Police, I took into consideration that even though he used to be a former Minister of National Security under the UNC government, he has broken off his ties with them, and I don't get along with the UNC. Therefore, I saw it fit to highly consider him as the next Commissioner of Police, because the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Just recently, I was at a police function in Karapichaima, and I was considering the idea of me being appointed as an SRP. But thinking of it, I already am an SRP, something resembling politician.
Well, I just want to say something about the Galleon's Passage concerning the little news that it didn't reach all the way to Tobago on one particular trip. If it turns out that Galleon's Passage is unfit for that kind of use, we can use that vessel for alternative ways of generating a huge revenue for this country by renting it out to promoters hosting chutney cruises down the islands and so on. So even if it cannot serve its current purpose, we could also utilize it for other ways in which we can still generate a revenue, and it will not be considered as a waste of taxpayers' money. Thank you.
I, as your Commissioner of Police, can tell you that out-of-control crime cannot and will not happen under my watch. Criminals roaming free is a lot of nonsense. A low crime detection rate is a lot of stupidness. And that sex island party that would have happened within our shores is a lot of bull. I intend to take a more clinical approach in getting these rats and cockroaches off the streets and put behind bars. And when we come for you, we are coming with full force. And we are not going to listen to some old lady in the background saying, "You do nothing wrong." Happy hour is over.
My brothers and sisters, I have listened to the plans by the PNM to decriminalize the use of marijuana, or you want to call it kosher or whatever again. I am strongly suggesting that there should be a ganja tree in every backyard of Trinidad and Tobago. If this were to happen, you can imagine what would happen. There will be peace and unity for 2 hours. National unity, I may add, followed by a nationwide shortage of doubles and roti and whatever other kind of food you like to eat. Because you know when you smoke you get the munchies and so on. And with this alternative way to fly, the airport that I worked hard to build when I was your Prime Minister will have to go out of business.
Madam Speaker, I promised today that I would thank this young lady in particular who did not believe that I am actually the Attorney General answering a message and had to test me to make sure who I was. A very bright young lady, past student of Convent San Fernando, former prefect, etc. Yes, I promised to tell her, yes, it is me. I did reply to her messages, and it was a pleasure to engage in her conversation. I also want to thank my colleague Devant for this idea of releasing our private numbers in public. I am now blushing and smiling because I find myself picking up chicks on my phone, thanks to Devant. As your Minister of Labour, I fully sympathize with those who have been retrenched from their jobs. And I also want to tell those people, do not despair. There are lots of vacancies in the fast food and private security businesses, for example. You can always take a job there. And that way, we will see a drastic reduction of unemployment here in Trinidad and Tobago.
My fellow Americans, when I was your president, I told you of a very good way in which Trinidad and Tobago can help restore the economy in the United States. And all we had to do was to instruct the U.S. Embassy in Port of Spain to continue rejecting your applications and make you pay and apply over and over again. We will have that money. Were we able to restore the economy when I was your president? Yes, we can. And yes, we did. Just recently, I've been doing a lot of research on this country called Trinidad and Tobago. Really good country, love it a lot. I heard the government of that country is a complete disaster, that I can tell you. Imagine an oil-rich country that has its own refinery, but they decide to close it down and import fuel from another country. Can you believe that?
If you want to know why I did that, meet me on the pavement.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Yeah, I love you. I love your wife. I love your mom. Okay, get him out of here. I'm sure that's what everyone in that country is saying about him. Get him out of here.